Hello happy souls. Today's video is about removing the fork assembly or a telescopic suspension from a Splendor, and I am Tamizh Iyanthiran. The price details and the tool details are mentioned in the description below. First, take a 19 mm spanner and loosen the bolt and washer assembly. Take the washers and the fork bolts, keep it in a safer place. And with the same 19 mm spanner, loosen the other ends also and remove the bolt washer assembly. Put the vehicle in center stand and place a wooden piece or a jockey under the engine to lift the wheels. Now take a 19 mm spanner and loosen the axle nut. If the axle nut was rotating, take a 14 mm spanner and hold it firmly at the other end. Now try it once again and loosen the axle nut. Completely remove the nut and keep it in a safer place. Now loosen the brake cables with a 14 mm spanner, or you can do as in the video. Remove the brake nut and keep it aside. Now remove the cables. Take a screwdriver, press and eject the clips to remove the speedometer cable. Keep the cables aside, not to disturb while working. Remove the axle nut completely by pulling it out. Remove the spacers and the brake assembly. Place the wheels in a vertical position. Take a 13 mm spanner and loosen the lower fork assembly. Don't remove the bolt, just loosen it. After loosening one end, loosen the other end also. Now rotate and pull outward. Check for the free play and pull the fork assembly completely. It is advisable to remove the mudguards first and then the fork assemblies. Rotate smoothly and gently and pull the fork assembly. The fender or the mudguard contains an inner clamp and two external clamps holding the fork or the telescopic suspension. With a 10 mm spanner, remove the fork bolts. First remove the one end with a 10 mm bolt. After loosening the bolt, keep the outer clamp in a safer place. And now at the other end also. Now take a 28 mm spanner and loosen the main cone set. The handlebars may disturb at the corners. So first loosen with the spanner and you can use your hand. Completely remove the tightening nut and the washer. Now lift the entire headlight assembly and unclamp the headlight frame. Take a screwdriver and a hammer and loosen the cone assembly nut. Hit around the corners in an anti-clockwise direction so it starts rotating and loosens the nut. Completely remove the nut from the cone assembly. While removing, due to the weight of the headlight and the cone assembly, it starts moving downward. At the lower races, the balls may fall off. Neglect the balls and remove the cone assembly. The speedometer cable and the brake cable are pinned with the cone assembly. Remove the cables and remove the cone assembly. Now keep the headlight assembly in a safer place. Now remove the upper races and remove the balls. With a cotton cloth, wipe all the excess greases. Take a rod and hit all around the corners to remove the lower races. Little by little, it ejects from the cone assembly. After it comes out, remove the lower laces completely. To remove the upper races, hit with the iron rod all around the corners. After removing the races, take a cotton waste and clean the old grease particles. Remove the lower races from the lower cone assembly. You can use a puller, but I don't have any special tool, so I used a screwdriver and a hammer. Slowly hit around the corners and remove the lower races. Make sure not to damage other parts. And this is the unboxing video. The price of the racers assembly is $290. It contains 2 races for lower and 2 races for the upper, and 6mm balls 42, 21 for the upper and 21 for the lower. Take the cone assembly and install the washers and the O-rings. After installing, take the lower races. The bigger end is the lower races, facing flat end. Now to seat properly, take a hollow pipe and hit from one end. Make sure there should be no gap. Take the upper races and install it flat and facing downwards. Take a wooden piece and hit all around the corners evenly. Check for the flatness. If it is not even, take a PVC pipe and hit at the center. Likewise, install the lower races. Don't hit with any metal parts, so it would damage the racers. Now take some grease and apply all around the corners evenly. This is to install the balls. After applying grease, take the cone assembly. Apply grease on the cone assembly also. First install the balls, the upper races. The balls are 6 mm and 21 numbers for the upper races. Make sure everything is evenly distributed. Likewise, take the other 21 balls and install the cone set. If you want, you can see the video and place the balls, or you can skip 60 seconds of this video. Now install the cone assembly from the bottom. Position the center and install the cone assembly. Now take the upper races flat end facing upward, so the balls would seat inside properly. Now take the upper nut and hand tighten it till the end. Make sure there is no gap or shaking under the cone assembly. Take a flat screwdriver and hit around the corner, just to ensure there is no gap at the lower cone assembly. This is a newly installed racers and balls, so it won't be compressed properly. For the first time, we are compressing it well and ensuring for the flip plate, and then install the headlight assembly. There are two locking parts at the lower headlight assembly. Make sure they are seated properly. After that, take the washer and lock nut. Install the washers and the 21 mm lock nut. Hand tighten till it goes. First take the right side fork and install it in its position. If the holes are tight, loosen the bolt and install the fork. Move till its top end and put the lock nut. First hand tighten it and leave it. Now install the left side fork in the same way. Finally, tighten it with a 20 mm spanner on both the sides. Tighten it fully at its torque. Now to tighten the lower end, take a 13 mm spanner and tighten the lower cone assembly. This holds the two forks in position. Take the front mudguard and install the clips. After installing the clips, position the inner and outer clips with the fork assembly. To install the mudguards, you need 4 10 mm bolts. Start from one corner and finish at the other side. Install the two 10 mm bolts at the right fork assembly. Now at the left fork, install the remaining two bolts. Finally, tight with a spanner or a ratchet as per the required torque. Before installing the wheels, with a salt paper or a emery paper, sand well around the brake drum. Now install the spacer at right end from vehicle's point of view and brake assembly at the left side. Now position the front wheel and the fork assembly and lift the wheel and lock it at the side notch. Now position the holes and insert the axle nut. Take the 19 mm take 19 mm nut and hand tighten it. Now take the brake cable and insert it in the hole and tighten it with 14 mm spanner, or you can do as in the video. Tighten the nut as per your requirement. Check for the free play also. Now insert the speedometer cable, position the inner cable and press it. Now align the cables properly and finally tighten the 19 mm nut. Take a 14 mm spanner and hold it at one end and 19 mm spanner and tighten the other end. Finally, test drive the vehicle. For speedometer action and brake action. Thank you.